Hi! Welcome to Dark Souls 3. We're having a look at farming. We'll cover both equipment and places to farm. If you've got all the equipment, you can skip ahead to about the 7-minute 45 mark. There will be time codes in the description as well to let you know what's what. First up, the Covetous Silver Serpent Ring, plus 10% souls. For this you'll need the tower key. I would recommend getting this as early as possible. Farm 20,000 souls super quick. Plus 10% souls is obviously more efficient if you get it from the beginning. You can also hit patches up for rusted coins if you want. They're only 200 and they're not actually great late game, to be honest. 60 seconds for a bit more item discovery is not that great. Anyway, get the tower key, head up the tower and then drop off onto the roof here. You don't have to take the damage that I do if you've got A, the silver cat ring, or B, you just drop onto the ledge and don't fall so far in a single. There's a little ledge on the pillar of the bridge. Anyway, from the roof, drop down here, pickle pea, pickle palm, or something that grows up here, and you can get all sorts of stuff, including a Titanite slab. Titanite slab. Anyway, drop down off the roof, head around until you see this opening, and then cross over this beam to the far end. This will actually bring you out by patches if you've unlocked him. Don't worry if you haven't. But I saw that tower key and basically saved 20,000 souls right at the beginning of the game because I was like, ooh, that's probably something interesting and useful, but there's patches there. There's an illusory wall, kick that, or smash it rather, it will reveal this chest. Well, we're on the matter of chests, and the thing will be in there. Symbol of Avarice. You'll know a chest is a mimic if the chain points forward rather than back. And the symbol of Avarice randomly drops from mimic chests. You can use Undead Soul Charms to force them to drop items. There's check the wiki for information if you haven't had that drop. But basically, don't kill your last mimic. Unlike the previous Dark Souls games, it's not a guaranteed drop. I actually got the symbol of Avarice off my first mimic. It's entirely random and possible not to get it if you just kill all the mimics. Anyway, next up, Soul of Want, 20% more souls. Sorry, Shield of Want, 20% more souls. This is located in the Smouldering Lake. The easiest way to get there is from the High Lord Wolnir fight. Wolnir! This was actually quite a fun fight, but I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't got there yet. From his fight, go back this way. There you go, smash that. Hit that bridge basically and it will break. There's a message, a developer message beforehand that you can't rate that says that the bridge is weak. I put that message there, people seem to like it because I actually hadn't realised until I was laughing at the well, I was actually looking over because there's some stuff below you here that I couldn't work out how to get and I was wondering if I could safely drop and I saw that little message pop up. But don't worry about the stuff in there, you'll get to it eventually. Head down here. There's a massive fire demon in here who is more than slightly terrifying. You can actually ask summons from outside Wolnir's room to come and help you early before you kill Wolnir. There's a mimic chest over there. You can actually get the fire demon to attack the mimic, and then the mimic will attack back. There's also some skeletons that spawn down there that will attack the demon for you. Wear fire protection gear. More skeletons there. This side or whatever that I'm using is completely unupgraded, so I'm just going to run away, run away. Head down here, you'll find another bonfire. It's to the right there. I went to the end. I didn't need to do that, but there. Activate that bonfire and follow the exit out, and you will get to the Smouldering Lake. There we are. Now, this place is deeply terrifying. There's a massive lightning worm that pops up here, as well as a ballista shooting you in the back of the head constantly. Thankfully, you can use the ballista to kill the worm. If you just get the worm between you and the ballista will pretty much do the work on the worm for you. But on this corpse here is the Shield of Want. So get that however you want. You can either rush in and grab it or whatever. The ballista's up there. You can sort of see the outline a little bit. And part of the Smouldering Lake thing is to switch that off. Anyway, next up, the Crystal Sage's Rapier plus 50 item discovery. This is good. I just had this equipped pretty much the entire game while I was playing through. Because random drops good, but you use the soul of a crystal sage with Ludleth, or whatever his name is, Ludleth, and exchange it for the crystal sage's rapier plus 50 item discovery. And you don't have to be wielding it, you can two-hand whatever you've got on your right hand and just leave that on your belt and it will still give you the plus 50 item discovery. The Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. This is in the Profaned Capital. It's part of, or it's not part of, but you'll likely find it if you're doing quests for NPCs. I won't say too much about that either. But from here, drop down the ladder, head up this way, a gargoyle will jump out at your face there. Head up here. You can just go straight if you're comfortable jumping holes. I've fallen through the holes too many times because I'm a rubbish jumper. So I just go the long way around. But drop down here, watch out for the gigantic alien facehugger creatures, which are terrifying. Climb up here. Take a left all the way around. There's lots of good stuff in these two rooms, so make sure you explore those properly. And then when you get up here, you're going to get in a fight with an NPC mage called Logan, presumably because he drops Logan's scroll. And then over here, you'll probably see messages on the Logan's over there. You'll probably see messages on this roof, but you can just jump over this gap here, through this window, up these stairs, nope, all the way up to the top. You will need a key to get in here, but again, if you're just exploring, you'll have the key from the dungeon. And in on that corpse is the Covetous gold serpent ring, and that's 50 item discovery as well. Next, the Mendican't staff, which does 20% soul, so it's exactly the same as the Shield of Want. It's just significantly lighter. So if item load is an issue, you're going to want to go here. It's a random drop, and it seems pretty rare, but the best place to go is Archdragon Peak to the Great Belfry drop, and then you just want to run through and kill this sorcerer again and again and again and again, and if you don't kill him quite quickly enough, he might spawn an NPC enemy, usually Rickard, sometimes Havel. You'll see here, I think he spawns Rickard there, who can drop Rickard's Rapier, which is not a terrible Rapier if you're a Dex build, which I am. Anyway, eventually he'll drop the Medicant staff. Pretty boring run, but there we go. It only weighs 2.5 and it gives you 20% extra souls. But let's get on to soul farming. No, let's not. Dragonslayer Spear, last item, I apologise. This is in the Dragonkin Mausoleum. You want to run up here. There's a summoner here as well that you probably want to kill. Otherwise he's just going to continually summon NPCs, which gets very boring. He's already summoned one. You'll see I lock onto him. But basically straight up the stairs that we were up before, there's the NPC. You'll go through this arch. The stairs are just to our left there, and this gate will be shut. Examine the gate. You'll walk up to it. There'll be a prompt for examine, and you will get the Dragonslayer Spear. There it is there. Upgrade it to +4. Trust me, you'll want to. Don't forget you can buy everything except infinite Titanite slabs from the Shrine Handmaiden. And we're going to look at some really easy ways to make souls to be able to afford to do that. Now here, this is Titanite scales and Twinkling Titanite. I actually don't like this farm place, but this is the most likely place to get them to drop. The easiest place to get them to drop. And I make a real mess of this. We're going to go back to where we killed the summoner for the Medicant staff. Let's kill her and then head around this way. You want to go through that archway over there, and then it's just right, left, right, left, right, left, and there's 4 rock lizards. They are here. Now what you want to do is pull one with the bow, because if you get down there, as you'll see, they just roll into your face and it's a bit of a nightmare. You don't have to do any, like, they're resistant to everything. It's really tedious, but you can pretty much stun lock them. They do a little jump forward. That was a roll. They do a jump which is really comes out of nowhere. They do this fire, but yeah, there's the little jump. And then they do a roll as well, and if you've got 2 of them it just becomes a nightmare. I wanted to sneak in and get that last one. You're wearing the Avarice helm, so you're losing health. It doesn't take much for things to go a bit wrong if you pull 2 of them. So ideally what you want to do, pull that one, magic up your weapon if you've got time. I don't know why I bothered, given that I now completely forget to two-hand the thing. But you can just put these guys in a corner. No one puts baby in the corner. And then pull them one at a time. And they've, I don't know, got like a 15-20% chance, if you've got the Rapier and the Avarice hat, of dropping a Titanite scale or Twinkling Titanite. Yeah, I mean, kill them at your leisure. I think this one drops. Nope, the next one maybe. But it's, I don't know, it just, the problem I have with this is it's quite a long way to go. It's not high risk, but, I mean, they don't do that much damage, and you can equip yourself accordingly. It's just, annoying, because they're resistant to so much, they take a while to kill. I'm sure there are weapons that can one-shot them, I'm sure there are builds that you can probably optimize, but it's like... Twinkling Titanite's what, 20,000? Titanite scale 16 or something from the Shrine Handmaiden. I would say you're better off farming souls and just in a minute's run, because that took, what, 3 minutes and I got 2 scales. Here you can get, now your build has to be right, but if you go back to the Dragon Kiln Mausoleum and stay on the bottom, this summoner will keep spawning an NPC here, and if you've got a super high damage weapon and you put on the Hornet's Ring and optimize your build super efficiently, you can pretty much one-shot this guy. And that just means that I've got the Crystal Rapier on, I don't know why. But because I'm not able to kill him with one shot, because I don't really have the build to do it, actually this is a really inefficient way for me to get experience here. You get about 7,000 souls, I think, if you're fully maxed up for killing him, and you can do it every 20 seconds, so you're looking 24,000 souls, but they don't drop anything, importantly. This is my favourite place, Archdragon Peak, the Archdragon Peak bonfire. You're going to want to equip the lightning spear that we got earlier. 2 hands, Shield of Want, silver Covetous gold, Covetous silver Serpent ring, and just use the weapon arts on these guys. These guys are weak to lightning, and they are weak to pierce, so a lightning spear is pretty much the perfect weapon. You can see the difference. I initially took them on with a katana. And if you do the charging attack which pierces them, it does like 2/3 of their health, and then the slash does about 1/3. Anyway, you get about 24k a minute souls here, 12k just under for all 4, they drop about 3k each. Watch out, you can die, but it's a pretty safe place to die because your souls are not going to be too far and you can just rush back to get them. Unlike, for example, the Titanite scale farming on the rock lizards, that might happen quite deep. In some other places we'll look at, you can drop your souls quite deep, which is an easy chance to lose them. Watch out, that guy can tip off the edge as well. But they will occasionally drop Titanite chunks as well, which saves you a little bit more, whereas the previous place he's never dropping anything. So you're making a little bit on top of 24k, along with the large Titanite shards that they're dropping endlessly. And Orlando in Irithyll. You can make about 18k souls a minute here, in addition to stuff that they drop. It's a little higher risk than the lizards as well, because, well, these guys fight back and can kick your ass. But dodge out of the first spear, he almost always charges down there, and then just stun lock them. The problem is if he puts his shield up at any point, you've then extended the amount of time it takes you to clear this run quite significantly, which suddenly makes the soul farming far less efficient. They can, the red eye guy at the end, you'll see the third one, can drop souls, but of course the risk you run if you go this deep is if he accidentally kills you, and it can happen, you're wearing the symbol of Avarice, if the fight goes on a bit long and he gets a lucky hit in, it's, you know, not impossible to die here. Then it's possible you'll lose all your souls from an unlucky hit on the way back by getting caught by the lightning and spear guy before, and there's nothing that sucks more than that. So make sure you spend your souls. Anyway, this guy, yeah, they'll drop 2 Titanite shards almost always, sometimes a large Titanite shard. But more importantly, they're dropping Silver Knight equipment, and that sells for anything between 300 and maybe 1,000, I think, to the Shrine Handmaiden. So you can actually bump your soul farming, and the red eye guy again might drop embers. Yeah, I don't know, it's just a bit risky for me. Somewhere a little less risky, but you're still going to get pretty solid equipment drops, is Lothric Castle. In Lothric Castle. This guy, I use the Dragonslayer Spear, wait for him to raise his weapon, and then spike him with that and give him one more poke. I could make it a single shot by putting on the right rings and upping lightning damage and all that good stuff. You can get about 3 kills in a minute, so you're looking at about 15k a minute plus whatever equipment he drops. I've got the Rapier on. Yeah. So the problem is if he blocks suddenly, again like the knights, it throws your timing off because he can take, you know, 30 seconds a minute to kill, and he might even kill you. But he will occasionally drop, well, he's dropping large Titanite shards all the time, but occasionally he'll drop an ember. which is kind of useful. But what I do is just ride the dragon lizards and use that to buy the equipment that I need from the handmaiden while I've been farming Covenant gear. This one was kind of unfair. Poor Thor. 3 versus 1. It was never really going to end well for you, buddy. But yeah, while I'm doing that and waiting to get summoned, I just sit and grind these guys. And you can see I've got like 1,000,000 souls there just from doing it. It's an entirely safe way to do it, because obviously when you invade, you're not losing any souls if you lose. So yeah, that's the basic guide to farming. On the right, we'll have a bit a look at, in more detail, at our farming Covenant items. If you want to upgrade all your Covenant things. On the left, Dark Souls 2, how to get started quickly. And don't forget to check the playlist. I will see you in the next video. Lots of love, bye!